Hey guys, in this video I would like to cover the subject of fence jumping. Now, in creating a map for the game of Carmageddon and many other games, the map designer or the game designer obviously has to lay down the opponent path network. This is a path that the AI controlled vehicles, the NPC vehicles, follow during the game, especially when the player isn't around. I mean, the AI isn't going to just look at the map somebody drew and say, "Oh, well, this is like a gray ribbon with a dotted line in the middle. This must be a road that I'm supposed to go on." Of course not. That's obviously not the way it works. You're going to lay down the opponent path network so the AI knows what path for the NPC cars to follow most of the time. So another part of laying down, creating a map, is defining the impassable objects that exist on the map, such as this fence on the left side of the screen, as you can see here. Now this is an indestructible fence. This is, you cannot break through this even with the solid granite car power-up. It's impossible. It's indestructible. The only way to get past it is to either go over it or go around it. Okay, so let's see the previous clip in split screen view. Now here you can see that I'm going after the big bus, and on the left side of the screen you can see Piranha. You can see what exactly he's doing. He's waiting for me right there as I'm going after the bus. Now right here, look at this. He starts kind of wandering. Boom! He switches to the ghost mode, the shadow AI as I call it. Right as I'm about to waste the bus, boom! There I go. I waste the bus. Now usually when I find that the AI switches to ghost mode or suddenly changes direction or something, it's usually in response to something I'm about to do. I think somebody just wasted himself on me. I didn't even bother to look to see who it was. Now look what's happening. See, as I'm going towards the end of the fence, you can even see me on the left side of the screen there too. Piranha is coming in the same direction to kind of meet me, but he doesn't want to seem too obvious about it. So he's stalling right here. He's pausing and he's just acting casual, and he's pretending like he doesn't see me. But clearly all along he knew that I was coming for him, and he was waiting to be wasted here. So here I got him against the fence now. Nice, good, hard, solid object. And right here I'm able to waste him. So let's see some other examples of that kind of behavior where the AI clearly knows when the player's about to drive around the fence to get them. Here we see Herbie. Now he's doing the same thing. He's like waiting for me. I'm on another part of the map and I'm tangling with another opponent. Boom, all of a sudden Herbie kind of switches to the ghost mode. I think he even teleported at this point. And in Karma 2 they don't teleport very often. In Karma 1 they do it all the time. But in Karma 2 it's fairly unusual. So here now he's waiting. He clearly expected me, I think, to be at this spot at a certain point, and I wasn't. That's why I was so eager to get there at a certain point. And I'm not there. So what is he doing? He's like going around in circles. They have their various ways of whiling away the time while they're waiting for the player to do something. So here we see him driving around in circles, just going around. And if somebody didn't understand the AI in this game, if they happen to see this, which they probably wouldn't unless they use the manual cam tool, they happen to see this, they say, "Oh, that's just dumb behavior. That shows how dumb the AI is." No, actually it's smart behavior, because it shows that the AI is waiting for the player to do something. So now here we see all of a sudden he switches to ghost mode, and he comes towards the end of the fence just as I'm round the corner. Boom! He gets wasted. So now let's see that previous clip in split screen view. So here we see him. There he is. He's at the fence. He's waiting his turn there, so to speak. And so now we can see what I'm doing here. So I'm driving along. Let's see. I spin around. Boom! Right here. That's where Herbie changes direction, because right here, that's where I'm about to waste 666. Now, I'm slowing down. I think Herbie is getting a little confused because I'm slowing down. Why am I slowing down? Because I saw that red semi hopping up and down, so I stopped, trying to find the other opponent because I was distracted by that bus. I covered this in my video, Weird Wasted Vehicle Behavior. one of my other videos. But sometimes the opponent vehicle, even when they're wasted, they'll still like hop up and down when they're already wasted. So now you can see that Herbie, that explains why Herbie was going around in circles, because I was taking an unusually long time to come for him, to waste him. So now here I'm coming towards him. Right here I'm about to round the end of the fence, and what does Herbie do? He changes into the ghost mode and he comes in my direction. And right here, exactly comes in my direction. Boom! He comes to waste me. So it looks like he was just randomly going down that road, and I just happened to come across him. Obviously, that's not the case at all. He was waiting for me. So now let's look at Tashida, because you have to have a lot of examples here. I like this example particularly. Look at Tashida. You can see me in the background there. See what Tashida's doing? He's waiting. You can see he's clearly waiting for me to finish what I'm doing. He's just whiling away the time, waiting for me to finish there. Now at this point, I come here and I show very clearly that I see him. You see that? Look what he does. He doesn't try to get me. He realizes he can't. But you see what he does? He knows that I just saw him. He knows very clearly. I kind of like made eye contact with him, gave him a dirty look, so to speak. And he knows I want him, so he's coming in my direction. He knows very plainly that I'm coming to get him now. And sure enough, here I am, and boom! He comes to beat me. He gets wasted. And now to give you another example. In this example, I'm chasing after the red vet. You can see him. I just passed him there on the right side of the screen. He's waiting on the other side of the fence for me. Because you have to give a lot of examples in order to convince the AI naysayers. Because if you don't give a lot of examples all proving your point, they're going to say, that was just a coincidence. That doesn't prove anything. That's just a coincidence. And they really do talk. They really do talk that way, by the way. So they really, in case you're wondering, they really sound like that. So anyway, here we go. I'm chasing after the red vet. There I see him, right there by the power-ups. So I come after him, and he gets wasted, or I hit him. He's about to get wasted. So let's see that from his point of view. So here we see him waiting by the side of the fence there, on the other side of the fence. And you can see me, just as the clip you just previously saw, you can see me driving right by him like that. Now look what he does. He's just passively waiting there. Now he backs up a little bit further. He switches to the ghost mode. It looks like he's going away from me, but he's just changing lanes here, and then he goes along the opponent path network, right there in my direction, just as I'm coming along around the bend, around the end of the fence. And there he is. That's where where you saw me in the previous clip. That's where I come to meet him. So yet another example of the AI, predicting my behavior and coming to meet me. Now, another thing I want to show from a continuation of the previous clip. There I waste the red vet. I want to show that the AI can even predict when the player is going to jump over the fence, which is kind of amazing when you think about it. Because, like I said, the only way to get around this indestructible fence is either go around it or to go over it. So here I jump over it, and I'm going in this direction. Who do I have to find? But I just see the black semi just casually wandering around. But was it casual? Well, let's see it from the semi's point of view. So here you can see him just driving along in the ghost mode. Then right here, boom! All of a sudden he changes direction. Now when they change direction like that, it's because they predict what the player is doing. It's based on what the player is doing. They predict what the player is about to do next. So here he's going along, and suddenly, boom! He changes direction again. He goes between these two airplane hangars here, and then he comes here. And now all of a sudden he slows down quite a bit and just acts like he's casually wandering along. And you can see me in the distance there coming towards him. But he ends up just right around the spot where I end up. So let's see that again here in the split screen view. So there you go. There we see him. And at this point, boom, that's where he suddenly changes direction. Why did he do that? Because he knew I was about to waste the red vet, of course. So there, I wasted the red vet. Now watch when I head towards the top of this hill. Look what happens toward the top of this hill. I'm about to jump over the fence. Boom! Right when he realizes I'm going to jump over the fence, that's when he changes direction again, and he goes between the two airplane hangars. And then he slows down. He becomes visible, and he ends up just about exactly in the place where I end up after I jump over the fence. So that clearly the AI can predict when the player is trying to jump over the fence there too. Okay, now in this clip, I'm chasing after Porker. Now the AI vehicles especially like to come along when you pick up a nice big fat juicy power up. And in this example, you can see I just now picked up a solid granite car power up. So here we go. I'm coming towards the top of the hill. Right here, I think I decide I'm going to jump over the fence here. So boom, I just barely make it, like skate along the top edge of the fence there. And I turn around because I know the opponent is somewhere around here. There's Porker. So I'm coming, just happens to be right in my area as I'm coming right after him here. So let's see how that happened in the split screen view. So here we go. There's where I pick up the power up. So right there you can see Porker in the ghost mode. Here's where I skid around. Notice how Porker like changes direction now at that point where I change direction. And here I'm going along the top of the towards the top of the hill here. Oh, look at Porker. Well, he just stops there because he knows what I'm about to do. So see how he changes direction? He starts coming right towards me just as I'm about to jump over the fence there. And of course, as soon as I jump over the fence, then he starts playing hard to get. But clearly he predicted exactly what I was going to do. So now here's in this example, I just waste Mach 10. Now I'm going to pick up a nice power up here. I like this clip here. So I pick up the repulsificator power up there. So once again, you know, the AI likes to come along when you pick up a nice power up. It may seem like it doesn't, but from my experience, it does. So here I didn't make that jump. I tried. Of course, you don't always make the jump. You try to, and you just don't. So in this case, I'm kind of stuck. So I decided the easiest way to do this would just be to recover. But it didn't really put me at the base of the hill, so I don't know if I'm going to have enough speed here. Oh, but I did make it. I just miraculously I make the jump, and I'm able to use the power up on the next opponent, which is the Gorian. So let's see that from the AI's point of view. So there's where I waste Mach 10. So here's where I pick up the power up. See, I'm going very slowly. Right here, I decide to pick up the power up. Watch. Boom! So you see that? On the left side of the screen, boom. As soon as I pick up the power up, he changes direction. You see that? The very moment I pick up the power up, he changes direction. He starts coming in my direction. And here's where he's not quite in my direction. He's not quite in my vicinity yet. So I don't quite make the jump here. But so I recover at this point, and I'm going to try it again. And by this time, the Degorian is right there, exactly in my vicinity, right where I'm going to make the jump. So clearly the AI knew not only that I made the jump, but that I was trying to make the jump. I was about to make the jump. And also clearly it tried to come right when I had that nice juicy power up. So finally, I want to show that it's not just the player who's savvy to the idea of jumping the fence, but the AI, the NPC opponents are also hip to this idea. So let's see it from Stupasucker's point of view. He's the airplane. So you see I waste Piranha there. Look what Stupasucker's doing. He's going very slowly up the hill. Very slowly while I'm tangling with these other vehicles. I'm working on wasting these other guys. So Stupasucker is just very slowly climbing up the fence. So here I waste Herbie. There goes Stupasucker. Boom, right after I waste Herbie. There he is, right exactly in my vicinity. And finally he makes himself available. But what I really like about this clip is right here after I waste Mach 13. And I swing around and I come right towards this. I'm thinking about it, I'm pausing. I come right towards this power up. Boom! The moment I pick up the power up, the next opponent, you see that, suddenly changes direction. Now tell me that's a coincidence. And I see that all the time in this game. And so at first time I fail to jump the fence. He's coming. He obviously knows what I'm about to do. I'm trying to jump the fence now at this point. So I recover here. And he's right in the spot where I'm going to end up after I jump the fence. And so he's just waiting for me to finish jumping, to successfully jump the fence this time, which I do. And look at that. He's right there ready for me to hit him with the power up. And the other clip I like is this next one coming up right here. Where notice when I spin around, Stupasucker kind of spins around there too. And then when I hit Herbie and I kind of spin around again, Stupasucker spins around there too. So he seems like he's coordinating his actions with mine very, very perfectly. So I waste Piranha right here, and and I'm kind of heading for Loggerhead, but I'm not gonna hit Loggerhead. I miss him because he kind of dodges me. But look what Stupid Sucker's doing. He's just going very, very slowly up that hill. Boom! As soon as I waste Herbie, he's right at the right spot on the hill, and he jumps right over the fence there. Just perfect timing. So I think part of the way that the AI works in the game is probably through the use of neural nets. And a neural net is defined as a computer or a program modeled after the interaction of neurons in the brain, including their ability to improve performance through experience. So what I think probably the way the game was developed is that, you know, the developers just trained the AI by having it watch hundreds of players playing against the game, or maybe a few players playing for, you know, hundreds of hours. And the AI was able to watch that and was just able to learn from that over time how the players play. So, you know, if a player is more likely to chase after the next opponent after they waste the previous opponent, then the AI learns that. Or if a player is more likely to turn left instead of right, the AI learns that. So, in other words, the AI over time can get very smart about how the average player plays the game, so it can get very good at predicting. That could explain a lot about how it's so good at predicting what the player is going to do. It also, it might even, you know, it might even learn from the current players playing, you know, in the past. It might keep a neural net or a database on that, so that as the player continues to play the game, the AI gets smarter at predicting their actions. Of course, even a neural net, I don't see how that can explain everything in the game, like the abilities that it's shown to actually be creative or to come up with unique problem-solving abilities, which I've seen in the game as well. I mean, check out my videos on called Can Computers Think, and also the one called Best AI Ever, and you'll see examples of this in action. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.